Round two. Need Starlink is right. I've been in contact with Telus, and it looks like I'm still in contract, so I might have to break that and just pay them out. The pricks. Oh, excuse me. Starlink's got a promo going on right now as well, where they don't have like an activation, or like you don't have to pay for the hardware, so. Man. I'll still not take it. Ah! We're down in our area of interest. This was a major spot where it sent us back up in the first place. We're violently trading into it. Violently trading into it. Would expect a little bit of a reaction from this area. But we'll see if we end up sweeping everybody out first. I think it's perfectly justifiable for people to want to long inside of here. $30 seconds left in this candle. We'd be looking for it to manipulate back up here, but we've already finished. And I think that that actually did close bullish. So we don't really have a CSD other than this all the way down here at 917. Yeah, I think we already did. Yeah, I like how we have these stacked highs above. Right, ES did flip as well. So we'll see if there's buying here. We manipulate below it or not. Go 20. Oh! That was gross. I like that manipulation a lot. We'll see if this obviously has to close bullish, and if we're going to trade up to here, then ideally this is swept, failed into our order block, and then we get a movement at least up into the 50s. At least testing this this high at 947. Good morning again. This is a valid area of interest as well. So ideally we don't trade down to this 17 low before we rally. This isn't the follow through I wanted from multiple bullish candles. We either violently move through this high at 45 or this is going to be a very, very short trade. But it looks like it's accelerating a little bit to the downside, and it looks like it's just going to take me out here. And this might be the accumulation and then the manipulation. I was a little bit early on this sweep. I still do think we should trade up a little bit into the 50s. We're going to find out pretty quickly. It shouldn't trade underneath this low now at 23. We're trading into where the volume was of the drop. So ideally this actually gets held above 30 and we'll see. Good morning again. We got to push here. Otherwise we're heading down to the 17s and perhaps even lower. And this just ends up being an SNDR that drops underneath the protected low. In which case I definitely don't want to be part of this. That was a violent rejection. Not good. Probably could have mitigated for a much smaller loss. Not wild about the price action, but here we are. '30s. Still like this flat top. Still think we got a reason to go higher, but after this flip back down, and now we haven't closed underneath this candle, otherwise I would have mitigated already. It still is likely to take me out full, but I have to hold to my initial trade plan. We either get a blast up above this, in which case I'm probably gonna, unless we get like a violent thrust through, I'm probably just gonna take it off or mitigate this for a smaller loss. But this looks like it's just going to stop me out. Wider stop for this exact reason. Like the idea of trading inside of this area of interest. And if we do flip, then we're looking at a very, very nice trade. But we need to see what happens with this high. Here's our rally. We got to push now, otherwise this is a short-lived one. Stall candle would be delightful. Otherwise, we're just going to continue this thrust and we have to actually go underneath this low at 23. Okay. A little bit stronger than this would be good. Otherwise, probably going to cancel this out. Expecting a little bit lower. That's a good bear bar. You know what? I'll take a full stop on this. That's okay. We're starting to round a little bit. We'll see if we get a thrust now. I don't want it trading underneath 28. I want this to push. And again, still holding to the idea of trading back up into the 50s, at least to this flat top. We've got to take this high for sure, in which case we might get a tap back in and then leaves. And I'm judging this based off the reaction of this zone. Right, so 10-point loss or decent win. This ideally should support price now. This open at 35 at worst. Otherwise, we're just going to drop through. $10.30 as well. We're banking on higher before going lower. And if we're wrong and it wants to actually drop below this, we should manipulate as well. If we're right, then we get a nice move and we remain bullish. Looking for 50s at least. Can't go break even, obviously. Looking for this to squeeze. ES still has an area of interest higher as well. That's good. So everything in tandem to lift a little bit. Again, 10 points or 10 points. Explosive movement we hold for a little bit longer in the 60s. That was a little hairy in here, obviously. That's why we have a wider stop. This very well could have been manipulation, in which case we might trade back into this area, which is what I'm banking on, but because of how violent that was. But we're certainly not out of the woods yet. We're still having a lot of difficulty. Gotta push through 45 here at least. Okay, stock goes underneath that candle at 35. I'll just manually close that out if it comes back down to it. I don't want that push being final business. I want this to lift and achieve our objective. We're just not seeing anything that I really want so far. But we gotta go. This is not good reaction. After taking that high, after accumulating here. We got to lift. Good. No follow through. I'll take this. Yeah. You know what? I'm going to take that off there. After holding through all of that, still getting what I want, but we're seeing a lot of issues accumulating here, which I don't want to see. Just losing faith in the idea, right? Wanted this to be manipulation, finished business, and gone. Instead, we're getting some major sell pressure coming in. So pretty annoying. It'll be even more annoying if this ends up lifting, just not high conviction of what I wanted to see. The idea was trading up into the 60s. And it did just enough, both times actually, to get me out of the trade. So here we are. Here we are. If you're still involved, you're probably quite happy. But I took that off for a small amount of money. Can't short by any means. My God. Just not what I wanted to see. What do you guys want? You guys want Wednesday giveaways with Thursday giveaways? Here's the 50s. Got me twice today. Happy with the analysis. I think my execution was a little bit poor on this one here. I probably should have been involved in the 30s and then was looking okay. Just didn't really get the price action that I wanted. Ugh. Here it comes. So multiple 20-point trades, and that's typically how I like to pass. Those of you guys that are passing evaluations or working on your first payouts, just those little base hits with proper direction. Not taking major losses, not adding to losing positions, even though that would have been very, very profitable here. Just not a lot of follow through that I wanted at all. And I think people will be looking to short inside of this. And it's probably justified, at least with ES, right? You've got your accumulation here, blasted and then violent. Will likely trade back into the 690s, right? 694, 695. Did you guys take anything in there with me, or did you guys avoid it? Ironically, if you took it and you just fell asleep, you likely traded this quite a bit better. Okay, that's fair. Right? Going objective to objective. If we're going to pull back, where are we pulling back to? We're pulling back to this area. If we fail this area, whereabouts are we going to? The area that sent us up. Right? In reality, we've got this created, well, it didn't create a zone actually on the intermediate time frame. That just dumped down immediately. Right? Here's your 5. Well, that looks like a pretty strong area. But again, we didn't close above here. So I can understand. Right? There's your 15. Sweeping and failing. And then flipped. Yeah, our job is to react, right? Our job is to react. So what kind of, like, perhaps I shouldn't have been expecting some sort of a V bottom from this, but there was no structure, so I thought it was viable that this was going to trade up and then determine if it was going to continue on or not. I didn't expect this. We actually got really, really close. I think we were involved in like the, 37, 38 or something. And that was actually close to taking us out on our wider stop. Analysis spot on. Execution not so much. Took it off in here for peanuts. Didn't like how I was failing underneath above this. Pretty happy with my analysis. Really happy with my well, I'd say my patience was a C. I was very patient for this. I liked that. Completely impatient with my profit. And now we're seeing a reaction from whereabouts. It's got to achieve something, in fairness. It's got to achieve something. I can't short against this expecting it to break bullish structure even with this. I think if we stab back down into here, we'll likely have a decent move, but not a lot that's high probability for me right now. I don't like that high at all. There's not a lot that I see that I like. Level to level, this makes a lot of sense. And probably would have been an extremely profitable day, considering. Even just trading one con. This is sort of your rounding inversion here. We closed above that high. Or sorry, closed above or below this gap. So if this ends up getting respected and trades lower, then we're probably going underneath this 51 into these 40s. Are we green? How are we doing, lads? ES flipped again. That's important. Green, good. I think this does trade back down to this 40 level. So if we get a decent reaction, then I'll be looking short. In fact, I'm probably going to hit this here. Very, very poor entry, but my stop will be above that 63 high.
Order submitted.
So 10 points, just looking for that drop down into this area of interest. We need to at least take 51, otherwise it's just going to melt my face off. This is mainly from the inversion inside of our area of manipulation. Not really wild about the follow through so far, so we'll see. ES might drag it down. We should drop now, ideally. If we're going to. This is just a little 10-point scalp. Low risk. Disgusting. And stop filled.
Order canceled.
Stop filled. Very annoying. ES doing pretty much exactly what we wanted. It did facilitate a movement back down to this, I suppose, but gross. Inversion expected down to here. Didn't get it. This is the result otherwise. Here we are. Poorly placed, in fairness. Probably could have hit that 60 and then even if we were wrong. I mean, that wouldn't have taken me into profit anyways. The idea was trading into here. Didn't get it. I liked this for an aggressive idea. Just went nowhere. Went nowhere. And here we are with this just dagger up. We'll see. So that idea obviously did not work. Gave back the 10, 12 points or whatever that I had scalped this morning from this trade, which ended up being beautiful, that trade, which ended up working out. And here we are. ES getting held up a little bit. We still do have that objective higher, which means that we probably will take the high on NQ and ES trades into the manipulation. Nice idea, Matt. Judging what kind of reaction we get from this, if we get more stall candles to run the high, or if we get some sort of failure underneath here. I think we should trade back down into the 70s at least this 69 level. And then determine if we're going to run the high from there or not. Here it comes if it's going to, or do they just continue buying this? If we get a trade into this candle, I'll probably take that. 66 to 69. But a lot that I don't like about this price action. No, I don't think I can take that now. 5 minutes to the next turn of the hour. This is going to be important. There goes your high. And do we get violence? Major SMT as well. 23,000 I think would be a very very logical number to hit. We'll see if this ends up manipulating underneath this low or not. AM highs still double top. Again, 74% chance that we have the low and the high on the same side. Or sorry, 74% chance that they're on opposite sides, which means that if we end up consolidating over lunch hour, then we end up running the high after. Yeah, I don't think we're done yet.
Order submitted.
Very aggressive trade inside this SNDR area. Haven't run the high. Looks like we're failing to create a valid low. But if we, or a valid high, sorry. And if we do, then I'll be gone. But I'm expecting a squeeze. And if it's not a violent squeeze, then I'm going to take this off flat. But playing the odds that we're going to touch 23,000. We'll play a little bit of defense if this sweeps and fails. Banking on a violent squeeze, and if I don't get that, then I'm gone. This was a very, very scalpy, aggressive trade based off of this failing to make a valid high. And break even now if it comes back down to us. Do we get follow through for a change today? Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. Okay, if we're going to squeeze, we're probably going to squeeze now. You see how orders are speeding up? Got to push through 90 here, or else it's just going to take us out flat. And I say 90 because that's where the major holdup was. ES still moving in tandem, good. But we need follow through. Otherwise, this increased movement is going to drop us down. Right, we're at the turn of the hour now, so we're going to find out what goes on. There's 93. Do we get 23,000? On the button.
Order canceled.
There we go. Right, violent trade, right? Double top. Failure to make a valid high. Squeeze, 20 points. Right, ES moving in tandem, which is nice. Now SMT, maybe. Might be out of this way too soon, as you guys are seeing. So not the most ideal trade, especially given everything that we were in a hold of today. Would have probably, if I could replay this, the lesson, I think the mental capital of being so close to being stopped out here played on my mind. I think that the better trade would have been the sweep underneath and then holding that and then maybe scaled in a little bit more in here. I think that would have been a better way of playing this. And the idea was that this accumulation was going to lead up to this area of interest and then whatever it wants to do. But here we are. Now they've both ran their highs, no SMT. Yuck. Yeah, I'm gonna grab a coffee, and my little one's got cooking school, so I'm gonna go run her to that. We'll yeah, I'll do a trading review today. It'll be on school as well. We're gonna start pushing that a little bit further, and we'll see you guys later on. Hopefully, you guys are all green. Bye 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 bye.